Most people know about the All-Ireland Pollinator Plan and have embraced replacing their lawns, or at least part of their lawns, with wildflower meadows. Sometimes they seed with a wildflower mix to boost the colour. Sometimes, though, in very fertile soils, they can be disappointed when after a year or two there's less colour than they'd hoped for. They can also feel, if there's less colour, that it's not so beneficial to wildlife. After all, if there's fewer flowering plants, how good is it going to be for pollinators?
But the truth is, there's more to a meadow than just pollinators. Researchers have found that lawns that aren't cut support a higher diversity of invertebrates and a much greater abundance of them.
Allowing a lawn to grow has a positive impact in reducing pest species. This could be because insects that eat other insect species take longer to grow. And finally, crucially for bats and other threatened species like swifts, swallows and house martins,
reducing mowing frequency increases the number of winged insects. So, by reducing mowing on even a small part of your garden, you're providing dinner for your local bats. We would argue that pesticides have no place in gardens. While you may be able to warn humans not to walk or sit where pesticides have been sprayed, try telling that to your pets, garden birds, butterflies or bees. Pesticides tend to build up in predators like bats in a process called bioaccumulation. While we don't know exactly what impacts this may have on bats, it may reduce reproductive health and cause lower survival rates in young. Pesticides like glyphosate can also run off into wet drains and ditches and rivers where they kill insect larvae, important sources of food for bats when they emerge from the water as adults.
So one of the things that you implement here is a no pesticide policy. So you're dead against spraying any kind of herbicides or insecticides. So do you use anything in particular to sort of keep the weeds down? Would you use mulches?
I would use mulch. So like we've no excuse, but like there's trees here. So when the leaves fall in autumn, I just gather them up, put them into a bag. I leave them for a couple of years, and then that leaf mold is like gold just for a gardener.
Things you can do when eliminating pesticides include creating physical barriers for crops that are vulnerable to particular pests, using mulches, for example on paths or around trees where you used to spray, using compost or sowing green manures like clover.
Consider the growing conditions. Planting the right plant in the right place will mean it's less vulnerable to attacks. Native plants are often more robust and support more wildlife.
Get to know your weeds and native plants and how they benefit wildlife. Nettles and even thistles are really important food plants for our most gorgeous butterflies. In fact, we think every garden should have at least one nettle patch. Composting your own garden waste retains nutrients from your soil and helps sequester carbon, and you can use it to mulch around trees and provide a nutrient boost to your own crops. Artificial light at night is a problem for most Irish bat species. It can affect the ecosystem in lots of ways. Insects can be attracted to light and instead of completing their life cycles as normal, spend all their energy at the street lights and die before reproducing. Some Irish bats, particularly our largest species, Leisler's bats, may deliberately choose to forage in the light because insects swarm there, but other species avoid light completely and light acts as a barrier to movement across the landscape. Outdoor lighting should only be used when it's absolutely necessary, and the light should only be directed where it's needed. If you can see lights at night from a long distance away, it means it's not doing its job properly. It is spilling upwards and outwards into areas where it's not needed, therefore wasting energy and impacting ecosystems over a wide area. In your own home and garden, you can close your blinds and curtains at night to prevent light spill, and you can use sensor-activated outdoor lighting so it's just on when it's needed. Lights should never be directed at bat roost exit points, at waterways or ponds, and lights should never be directed onto trees or hedgerows.
All of this keeps down the energy bill and is good for bats too.
For more information, see gardeningforbats.com or watch the rest of the videos in this series.